Happy Friday, everyone. We made it through the week. Hope everybody is having a fantastic day. Something that reminded me of a broader topic that I saw today. Um, so Tulsi Gabbard came out on her last day and dropped the bomb on Fauci. Um, and I see a lot of people online saying, why isn't he in jail? And he needs to be charged and this, that, and the other. Yeah, sure. Um, but he has a pardon. He has a presidential pardon. Um, and to anybody that wants to argue that should just be overturned, like it was done by the auto pen, it should be overturned. Um, in a perfect world that could work in some semblance of nuance, maybe that could be the case. Um, but here's the reality. No, Anthony Fauci, given all of the horrific things that he did that led to ultimately COVID and then the policies that were recommended during COVID, um, he's going to walk around free for the rest of his life because Joe Biden gave him a presidential pardon that covered literally everything. I mean, not even literally, I mean, actually everything. There is nothing that Fauci could have done during his term in which he could be charged for. He could have murdered somebody, literally gone out on Fifth Avenue and shot somebody in the middle of the street. Literally, he can't be charged for it. And anyone arguing that they should overturn the pardon is dumb. Number one, because it would open up a can of worms regarding every president that has ever used an auto pen for an official action, of which there are many. And so that's just not going to happen. Think about all the executive orders. And keep in mind, I want Fauci to rot in jail like everyone else. I would say COVID is another radicalizing moment for a large number of people. It literally ruined people's lives, took a generation of kids, some that were coming into school, some that were going to be graduating, and took 2 years of their life. In some cases, if you lived in a blue state, it took almost 3 years of your life. It ruined millions of people's lives, led to potentially the deaths of millions of people as well. But unfortunately, the reality is Fauci is never going to be charged. He's going to walk around on the street. I hope, people just, throw expletives at him, not actual hard things, and assault him. But I mean, like, there isn't a waking day where Fauci should walk around where he's not berated by people. And he's going to have to live with that for the rest of his life. And that's the best that we're going to be able to do. It's unfortunate. It is what it is. And to those that think that a state level case can be brought against a federal level official, good luck with that. I mean, you could just look at what's happening in Georgia from the Trump cases and what's come out of that. A state level charge for a federal official doing federal things that has a federal pardon. I mean, I could hope that it would happen, and it would probably happen in a state like Florida, or maybe even Texas. At least they might try, but it's just not going to hold up. And unfortunately, to the point, Fauci is he's a free man, and he's going to spend the rest of his days as a free man for literally anything that he did during the time that he was in the federal government, because he was given a blanket pardon by Joe Biden on his way out of office via the auto pen. That's just a reality. But there is something broader. I think that is, I would say, annoying is probably the best way to describe it. Um, and this is for all of the, I would say, there are things that happened from 2016 or even from 2015 all the way through the 2020 election that I think need to be rectified. And I think there needs to be legal action for it. In some cases, there is legal action that's taking place. But the best thing, or the only thing you should be rooting for, is that people are charged. Saying that people should be in jail, or if I were in power, I'd have this person locked up, like, that's totalitarian. Like, what we want are charges to be brought and a court process to play out. And unfortunately, and fortunately, depending on what state it's brought in, is going to determine the outcome. But I think in a lot of cases, the process is the punishment. I think Comey is never going to spend a day in jail. It's just never going to happen. But I would love to see him charged with official things. Don't get me wrong, with like real charges for real things. So he has to spend his hard-earned money defending himself the same way that everybody that got charged, including lawyers and so on and so forth, for the 2020 election challenges, had to defend themselves and spend all their money. It's only fair. It's only fair. And if the outcome of that is that he gets jail time, amazing. If the outcome of that is that he spends years having to litigate this and spending millions of dollars of his own money, and he walks, fine. Absolutely fine. They've got to feel some repercussions of some kind, and having an official legal process with real charges and tying them up in the legal system, like, that's a good outcome. But to immediately jump to this place where you go, he should be in jail, or if I were there, I would put him in jail. Or why isn't Trump put him in jail already? Why hasn't Trump arrested him? Well, you got to bring charges first. You got to have an investigation. You got to bring charges. In some cases, you're going in front of a grand jury because the odds are better there that you can get an indictment. Or you just build the case, put it in front of a judge, and then hopefully the judge has the case move forward. But this immediate kind of jump to Trump should arrest this person or Trump should have them in jail is the dumbest thing that people can say. Again, if charges can be brought for this stuff, bring it. Like, absolutely bring it. But I'm not going to be out there, and you'll be hard pressed. You can check through my social, any of my social accounts. You're not going to be finding me out there saying Trump should arrest this person, or Trump should have this person in jail, or whatever. Trump should be directing the DOJ to whatever. Like, let the process play out. There is a process. Fortunately or unfortunately, there is a process. And for a lot of these people that we definitely want charged, investigated, and charged for legitimate things, like, chances are nothing's ever going to happen. And that's just the reality. And it's not that I'm saying that because I'm being defeatist. I'm just being realistic on the kinds of charges that would have to be brought and the likelihood of those charges succeeding, especially if you're, say, a Virginia resident, or if you're charging someone who's a Virginia resident, the crime was committed in Virginia or DC, and you have to put it in front of a federal DC court or federal Virginia court. Are you kidding me? And you're charging a Democrat? Like, good luck. Again, we saw this happen. Again, you can't just arrest people for no reason and throw them in jail. So Letitia James gets found by a Democrat in New York, by the way, the Democrats try to spin this and say that Trump made up charges or Trump sent people out. No, a Democrat in New York just happened to have pulled Letitia James as someone he was going to do an investigation on to see if she had done anything fraudulently, as he's done with many other Democrats. And by the way, many other Republicans. He does it for people in office, and found that she likely committed mortgage fraud. And so he presents that stuff. The Trump DOJ picks it up. It happened in Virginia. Of course, it goes in front of a Virginia federal court, and that federal judge is like, no. Or it was the indictment. Maybe it was the indictment rolled out because a grand jury found fit, and then a judge threw it out as soon as it got in front of the judge. Like, you can't go and just arrest Letitia James. I think karma in the end will get her. Justice will find Letitia James. Justice will find Comey. Justice will find these people. And when I say justice, I'm not talking necessarily about the law. I'm just talking about karma when I'm referring to justice. People who do bad things tend to, let's just say, karma works itself out. A family that makes its entire money and its wealth off of bootlegging, and then has everybody in that family slowly die off of random events, that's karma. I could say it's God, but it's karma. Plane crashes. By the way, I'm talking about the Kennedys. I mean, you want to talk about a family that made its riches off of doing really bad things and then having weird things happen to them over time. Karma karma caught up with that family. I mean, over and over and over again. And Comey and Letitia James and all these other people will have karma catch them in the end, and justice will ultimately be served. That is my most positive take on it. But again, people out there saying that, you know, Trump should just be throwing people in jail. One, you know, check yourself. Check yourself. Because Trump is not always going to be in office. And we saw what happened when Biden was in office. Literally locked up people that were at J6 for trespassing for years and put them in solitary confinement. I mean, that is dystopian to the nth degree. And don't get me wrong, there were people that assaulted police officers for sure, but the vast majority of people that were spending time rotting away in jail with no chance of really seeing a court date anytime soon were mostly there for trespassing. If you're on the left, feel free to go look up most of those cases. Feel free. But again, I would say to those people, you know, the people on the right that are constantly screaming and they're angry that Trump isn't putting people in jail, check yourself. Like, seriously, check yourself. It's just not good. It's not good. If you see Fauci on the street, by the way, definitely yell an F you to Fauci. Do what, what's her name, Waters, now I'm forgetting her first name, said to do to all the Republicans, make them feel uncomfortable. When they're sitting at a restaurant, when they're sitting at a gas station, make them feel uncomfortable. I will go the extra step and say, don't physically touch them. Don't physically assault them. But use your freedom of speech to make them feel very uncomfortable wherever they are. And for Anthony Fauci, I hope that every day that he goes outside, he has people dropping F-bombs at him all the time. All the time. because that, until the justice that he deserves comes, and when I say justice, I'm not talking about someone doing something bad to him. I'm just talking about maybe he dies of cancer. Maybe he gets liver failure. Maybe he passes away in the next couple of years, early, from natural causes. That's the justice that I'm talking about, because that's the only justice that we're going to see regarding Anthony Fauci. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because he should be charged based on what, I mean, he definitely would be charged for sure, based on what has come out from Tulsi Gabbard. But he will never be, because he has a presidential pardon. That pardon is him for everything. But on that note, I hope everybody has great plans for the weekend. I know here in Raleigh, in the Raleigh-Durham area, we got the parade tomorrow for the Canes. I'm a Caps fan, but I am going to go to the parade because I'm a hockey fan nonetheless, and I'm going to give the Canes their due respect. Plus, I think it'll be a good time anyways. Won't be at nearly the same level of attendance or excitement that was at the New York Knicks parade in New York City, but nonetheless, it'll be a good time. It'll be a bunch of people getting together, whether they're, regardless of their political beliefs or their sexual identity, or any ideology. We're all out there together, cheering on the winners of the Stanley Cup, the Canes. So with that, I hope everybody has a great weekend. And as always, keep believing that the best for America is still ahead. Peace out.